Hello, Todd Shank here with Premier FPL, coming with the Gameweek 38 FPL tips. This is going to be the final week of the season, final match day, and there's plenty on the line for a lot of the teams here. Here we go. Take a look at the standings. Basically, everybody is already set as far as relegation goes. Cardiff, Fulham, and Huddersfield going down. Brighton, are safe here. Here at the middle of the table, not a whole lot going on. Arsenal and United are guaranteed European places of some kind. It's more a matter of exactly where they can land. United cannot hit top four, but Arsenal do have the chance to get top four, depending on what goes on with their match and Tottenham's match. It's going to require Tottenham to lose by quite a bit and Arsenal to win by quite a bit. But anyway, so yeah, not a whole lot to play for here within anywhere in the table, to be honest, other than the City and Liverpool matches where Liverpool need to win and hope that City either draws or loses. So yeah, like I said, plenty to play for at the top of the table. City are away at Brighton. Now again, Brighton are basically playing for pride, playing at home, so you never know what could happen there. And then Liverpool playing at home against Wolves, and Wolves are a team, as you can see here in the table, they're only going to be able to get to 60 points. That's not enough to move them up the table, but they're a team that has fared very well against these top six teams this season, and I could definitely see them turning out, trying to put in a good match, and making it very difficult for Liverpool. It's more a matter of whether Liverpool are going to have enough firepower to get through. They did win midweek against Barcelona, so they should be flying pretty high. And I say kind of the same thing with Spurs. They should be flying high. But then again, there's also kind of looking down the road for Spurs, preparing for a Champions League final, and whether or not they're going to be fully into this match against Everton. Especially considering, if they were able to pull off a win in the Champions League, then they are guaranteed Champions League spot for next season, and it doesn't matter where they finish in the table. And actually, I don't see. Let me go back here. I didn't see a goal difference. Sorry for the pause there. Just wanted to see what goal difference is here. 8-point goal difference. Like I said, it's going to require quite a bit from both Tottenham losing and Arsenal winning for there to be any change in that top four area. The only difference here would be whether Tottenham is able to go above Chelsea or not. So Chelsea do play Leicester. Leicester is another team. They're not really going to go anywhere. They could, if they win, Everton loses, they could move up to 8th place, which is basically just a few extra. I don't even know what the payouts are, but a few million extra that they get in their bank. I don't know that really means a whole lot. Depending on what is in some of the players' contracts, they might be more willing to play. All right, so looking ahead, Game Week 38 here, some of the teams to kind of try to target. This is going to be really difficult trying to figure out who's going to really be up for it. I would say favor the home teams. Most likely, home teams are going to have more to play for, wanting to impress the home crowd on the last day of the season. So that's something to look at. And also looking at some of these teams that really don't have anything to play for at all. So bottom of the league teams. If you have a team here like, say, Cardiff playing away, going down, it does seem like a lot of teams play up when they play United. They really want to show that they can beat a top team like United, so I could see them coming out and doing well. Then again, I could also see them coming out and just not showing up, and then that could be an interesting one. So United could be a team to target. Specifically, Pogba and Rashford, I think, are the main two. Lukaku has not looked good. Previously, I thought he would be a good one for it, but he has just really not looked good. He's playing out wider, and that's not really a great place for him. Fulham could be a good one to look at targeting. They are going down, but they are playing at home. They should want to prove something. The last match of the season. Of course, that's also a really easy one to look at targeting for a 0-0. Newcastle have played well defensively. The last matches of the season, when there's nothing to play for, it's really difficult to have any kind of prediction about what's going to happen. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, that could be an interesting one. Bournemouth has finally turned it back on here at the end of the season. But again, they're safe here, middle of the table. They're not going anywhere, playing for pride. It could be an interesting one where both teams are able to go all out. So looking at guys like Fraser, Callum Wilson, maybe Joshua King in there as well. Brooks would be a good one to look at targeting in that matchup. Burnley and Arsenal, Burnley at home. Could easily see this one being a 0-0 or just kind of a very tight one. Then again, I could also see it being kind of a barnstormer with both teams really going for it and getting goals on either end. So I currently have Lacazette in my team, considering keeping him against Burnley. I haven't fully made up my mind on what I'm going to do as far as transfers go, but definitely need to drop Son here, and considering also dropping Lacazette. And then have to figure out what I'm doing. What I'll most likely do, put Valerie on the bench. I don't know. Southampton is a tough one because they are playing at home and they're playing against Huddersfield, who are going down. But I think Huddersfield have a lot to play for. But then again, Southampton's playing at home, final match of the season. I think I'm starting to kind of talk myself into playing some of these. Actually moving Valerie back in here. Wan-Bissaka, most recently, a lot of ones in here in recent matches. The thing is that he's also capable of putting in some, a 9-pointer here with the clean sheet. But the problem is playing against Bournemouth. I don't know that there's really going to be a clean sheet in this one. So I'm not really looking at targeting him for that. Thinking of Valerie instead. Again, a lot of 1-pointers, but he is a goal-scoring threat. So there's also that chance of him getting a goal. Still have Redmond here. Mainly his price point is what convinced me to pick him up, but I do have Højbjerg. So I think a lot of this is just going to depend on whether I decide to move for 2 midfielders or drop Son and Lacazette to go with. I could still, and then look at targeting, a midfielder and then a forward, or I could even target, if I wanted to play Højbjerg here in midfield, targeting, a higher price point midfielder, and then drop to someone like, Chris Wood or somebody a little bit cheaper for a forward there that may or may not play. I think the main thing to look at for this final week is picking players that are going to be starting. You want to make sure that everybody is starting in your team and looking at getting that captain's pick right. So I'm actually thinking I am going to go, and I might as well go ahead and change it now. Wow, it's been so long since I've used the website that I forgot how to do it. I'm going to go with Aguero as my captain, and I still have my triple captain. So playing my triple captain on Aguero, looking for that last match of the season to finalize their place as champions. And I think Aguero is the one that's going to come through there. So putting the captaincy on Aguero, triple captain there, and hope that he is going to be starting. And then I'm going to put the vice captain here on Sterling just in case. I think Jimenez has a good chance to get goals this match as well, but we'll see how that one goes. One thing to remember is all the matches take place at 3 o'clock British time. That's about 10 o'clock my time. And they all kick off the same time. That means, make sure your team is set by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. That'll be Eastern time, or was that 2 o'clock British time. So make sure that you do have everything set up, ready to go. The nice thing is a lot of, everybody should have a good idea of who is going to be playing. I will say I started playing some of the Bundesliga fantasy partway through the season. One thing I really like about their system is they actually close setting your team. I like the way that they do both the transfer window and the way that they do picking your team, where you can actually move players around a little more. But especially being able to hold off on transfers until you know what the team sheets are going to be for the first kickoffs. I think that's pretty big, and I really wish that they did that for Fantasy Premier League, but I understand that's part of the difficulty in playing the game. So, all right, those are some of my thoughts. I think, again, players to target. Salah is currently listed as 75% chance playing. I am fairly certain he's going to play regardless of whatever the concussion tests pull out. There's no way that he's going to be left on the bench for the most important match of their history since, 1990? So, yeah, there's no way that he is not going to play in this match. I think the same thing with Robertson. I would imagine he's going to be playing. These 75%, you might as well look at them as 100% chance. I don't think that anybody on that staff is going to hold Salah back because of any concussion. I don't think he's going to be thinking about his, his future and like any long-term repercussions. Likewise with any of their medical staff or anybody on board there. I think the bigger thing that they're going to be looking at is being able to win a trophy, and I really think he's going to be playing. So looking at Salah as a solid pick. Hazard. So Chelsea play Leicester away, but Hazard is... He's one that I've said if you want him, you got to stick with him. So if you have him, keep him. If you don't have him, I would say that's on you. Look it up, see if you like his statistics in recent matches. He's played well against some of these bottom tier teams, not so well against the upper teams. So that he does have that going for him, at least in recent weeks. Then has the Cardiff match and the Everton match not doing so well. They did just play Thursday, but he's a good solid one. Sterling, Mane, basically anybody here in this top half of this table is a good one to look at picking for the final matches of the season. This is also a good time to take a look at some of the differentials. So look at value by form. Alexander-Arnold is not going to be a differential, 25% chance pick right there. Travers played in game week 37. I actually don't know what's going on with their goalkeeper situation as far as injuries. I haven't been able to keep up quite as much as I'd like to recently. Had a lot of stuff going on, and with these Friday matches, it's made it really hard for me to get any videos out, so I do apologize for that. David Brooks is one that is out, so don't bother picking him. Again, make your own decisions. That's the big thing that I always push. But Fraser, I think, is a good, solid pick. Not going to be a differential, but I think Fraser and Wilson are both solid picks, and I'm actually considering moving for one of them, depending on who I pick as my high price point. Might actually go with Hazard as a higher price point player. Brian here has played well in recent weeks, so he could be a good one, especially Fulham playing at home. Last match of the season, he's a 0.3% ownership, only a 4.2 million defender, and I think I like differentials better in midfield. Kearney has been playing again recently, not been doing too terrible. I have Redmond here already. Jota and Neves, Jota is a good one, borderline whether he's actually a differential or not. So just some things to consider when you're looking at picking your team. But I think Salah is a good, solid pick going forward here for this last match. I think he's another one that's probably going to get on the score sheet. Either assist, goal, maybe even both for this last game week. So I think he's a good one to go with, and definitely a captain's pick as well for this last match of the season. So, all right, teams to target, definitely targeting Liverpool and City. I think you could go either way with Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, targeting them. Same thing with Fulham and Newcastle. Even Leicester, I think there's some good picks in there. Vardy, Tielemans, Chelsea has, Willian is not a terrible one, but I think Hazard is probably your best pick there. Liverpool and Wolves, I think Wolves are also a good solid team to look at, especially Jota and Jimenez. I'm going to keep Doherty. I think I have Doherty in my team. Yeah, I'm going to keep him starting as well. Liverpool, you have Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Salah, Mane, a lot of different picks there. Firmino could be... actually, I think Firmino is still injured, isn't he? Like I said, I haven't been able to keep up a whole lot. Yeah, Firmino is injured. Yep. So here, Premier injuries. Yeah, he has a 100% chance. He is definitely playing. Just because somebody's running outside does not mean that they don't have concussion symptoms. So it is a little bit concerning that they're planning to put him out there after having a concussion only a week previous. But, it is the sports world, and they don't really think too much about the future. United, Pogba, I think, is a good one. If he's going to turn up, Rashford, I think, is a good one for that one. Don't shrug off Cardiff players. I think that they could put in a shift here, at least get a goal in that match, especially the way that De Gea has been playing. So picking up some Cardiff players might not be a bad idea. Make some room in midfield for somebody a little higher priced. Even if they don't start, Cardiff players are a good one to look at. Southampton, definitely favoring Southampton in that one. Same thing, Spurs and Everton. Everton are interesting. Richarlison could be a good one. I think he would be one that might try to impress to get a move away more than anything. Trying to really show what he can do for the last match of the season. And then Watford and West Ham, I think that one could go either way. Goals on either side for that one, similar to Burnley and Arsenal. I think goals on either side. Crystal Palace, goals for either side. So, yeah, there's some really interesting matches as far as fantasy goes, and whether teams are really going to turn out or whether they're already on the beach and, ready to get out of Dodge. Anyway, I think that's kind of where I'm going to wrap it up. It's been, actually, I think I'm going to plan to do another video here following either Sunday or maybe sometime during the week, just to kind of review my season a little bit, discuss some things that went well, some of the things that didn't go so well, and then maybe thinking about the future and where to improve. Okay, so yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Leave some of your comments there. Who is your captain pick? Who is your one player that you're planning to transfer in that you think is going to be the difference maker for this week? And as always, wish you guys good luck and have fun.